Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to do kind of a mini haul, but more importantly, easy note cards that we can make with our mini haul. This week at Michael's, they're having a really good special on the textured cards and regular cards and envelopes and the papers that kind of match. They're $5 for each. You get 80 in this, and a really wide variety. I hope you can see all the different, I'll pull that up, sorry. There's a really wide variety of those, as well as there's some really great colors. Then the paper that matches it is really, really lovely, and a lot of different textures and colors. So what we're going to be doing with them is we're going to be making some note cards as gifts. And I thought we could make them pretty quickly and inexpensively because you've only got $5 in each of those, and you can make 80. That's pretty great. And then, of course, we're going to add a few more things. But I also am going to be using my Misty, and I'm going to be using on that just one stamp, and that is a monogram, because I think it's nice to do monogram gifts at this time of year. And this is from Inkadinkadoo, and it is a set called Coffee House Alpha. And I'm using the letter A for one of my girlfriend's initial in her name. So let's do that first. We'll stamp that up real quickly. Hopefully we'll get a good print from it, because it's the first time I've used the stamp set. And I just used some pink cardstock that I had laying around. I'm going to put a little bit more on that. And this is from our metallics that we did, our little mini metallic, or pearlized, excuse me, inks. And I think this one is Daffodil Delight from Stampin' Up. And I liked, once I put that mica in there, it really made this into a really gold look. And I like that. And I think that came out nice. So we're going to go with that, and we'll set that aside to dry. And then we'll work on the other card. I cut out from the same pink stack a piece that I'm going to just attach right here. And then I'm going to attach this on top. But in the middle of it, I'm going to put a really big gold bow, because you know how I love my bows. So I think the first thing I want to do, I'll do this part first. Some days you just can't remember what you want to do in what order, and this is one of them. I think the roses go this way, but I'm going to use them this way, and I'm just going to put it to the bottom of the card, and I'm going to match it up. If we have any on the sides, I did cut it to 5 1/4. The height doesn't really matter, because we're really not worrying about what it looks like height-wise. We're only worrying about what it looks like once we get our piece on. What we're worrying about is what it looks like with the ribbon in there. I'm going to pull it off a little bit, because I think I need to attach my ribbon to the pink piece first, and then I'm going to let it out of the way. I'm just going to run a line across the back of it so that we can get our ribbon where we want it. So we're going to then slide. This is where it gets scary, as you know. Anything sticky in me, it's a little bit iffy. I might have to be out of frame for just a second while I try to line that up. And then I'm going to take the ribbon back and cut that pink off that edge. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to knot this. I really want the bow to, or the knot, whatever I decide. I think it's probably just going to be a knot. Whatever you decide to do, you really want your bow or your knot to take the precedence in these pieces, because obviously if you go the other way, where the bow is insignificant, when you're putting this kind of ribbon on there, there's no point to doing it, because the ribbon itself is the show. Then what we're going to do is we're going to fold the ribbon in half like that, and we're going to cut it at an angle so that our ribbon looks like a bow, even though it's not. As I said, these should be very easy to do. You should be able to whip out a gift set of these in no time at all, once you have your pieces in place. You know, once you know what papers you're going to use and what ribbons you're going to use. I'm going to put a little bit of runner underneath to keep my ribbon down. I think I'm going to just cut off the edge of this one, and I think we're going to call this one done. Again, these are not supposed to be a card that has a sentiment on it. It's a note card that you would write a little note to your friends and tell them how you're doing, or find out how they are, or it could be a thank you note, it could be a sympathy card, it could be anything. It's just a very basic note that you're going to be using. I think it needs a little bit more bling on it. I think what I'm going to do is run some of these little gold dots across the top. Yeah, they're those kind that have that sticky on the back, which is great. And I'm going to use my grid for this because I like to line things up so it doesn't look completely crazy. And I'm not going to put a million of them on there. It's more just to add some definition and make that pink stand out on its own. And it's to make you feel like the person receiving is going to think that you really put a lot of time and effort into it, which you did. And we're going to call this one done. Well, not quite. I made this for you. Okay, so that's our first note card. Didn't take us very long at all, and I think it came out pretty cute. Our bow, I'll monkey with the bow a little bit later. Then our next one that we're going to do is pretty similar, only this is the one that we're going to use our monogram on that I immediately lost. So this one, what I decided to do is I was going to do pink, and then what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to run the bow this way around it instead of the other way. Okay, what we're going to do with the letter A is we're going to use a 1 3/4 scallop circle punch. It fits pretty well that way, so I'm going to turn it over so I can see it better. Okay, here's our little A. Let's glue down this paper onto our gold. I know you're scared now. At least you should be. Okay. Get that out. Good enough. I'm not really pals with that yet. I know everybody always says that they absolutely can't live without their ATG gun. So far, I have to say I think I could live without my ATG gun, but I'm hoping that it gets to the point where I love it so much I can't live without it. Hoping. That's my hope. Okay, then on this one, all we're going to do then is we're going to run our ribbon around this piece, and maybe I'll put a little glue in the back of that just so we're sure that it sticks down. Have you ever noticed the other crafters on YouTube, how clean their areas are, and how when they do their projects they always have just a pristine little surface and nothing else in their way, and the whole time that they're doing it they clean their mess up as they go? How do they do that? I need to know. So what I did was, in the meantime, in the 1,000 hours that Rich had to delete, I did do my little bow, and then I'm going to adhere it down, and I haven't decided if I want to put the A on it or not. I can't decide if I should raise it up or if I'm just going to go without it. I think it's cuter without it. We're just going to go with it. I like a very simple look, and I also like a very simple card, and when I get a note card that's handmade and beautiful, what does it matter if it doesn't look the way I envisioned it? And that's the other thing I always wonder about crafters that do those videos that are perfect. I always wonder if they give up, they haven't, if their vision for their card isn't exactly what they wanted. Do they give it up and throw it out completely? Or do they do like I do and just keep going and say, there it is, I made this for you? I don't know. This is not exactly even, so I'm going to try and even it up. How about now? Good enough. I do think it needs a little something else, but I don't know what. So let's put a couple random gold dots on this one, just because now that I've used one or two, I really dig them, and now I have to use more. That's another thing I should say. When in doubt, just put more on. When in doubt, bling it up. Oh, I have so many more projects for that little girl that I'm going to be doing. You're going to get such a kick out of all the things I have planned for her room. I'm hoping that on Christmas Day that Santa Claus is going to be presenting her with the room of a million dreams, and that she loves everything and is so thrilled, and that I'd like it if the room was done when she wakes up, but you never know if that's possible or not. Okay. Look how my area is almost clean again. Now, who are we getting? Flip this over.